Forgiveness imprisons the person who cannot go through the process of forgiving. 25 years ago, my dad started a textile company that makes fabrics for hotels and hospitals. And I started working for him about 22 years ago, and I've spent my life working side by side with him. I had a very enmeshed relationship with my father. I had found him to be very critical. I knew that he loved me, but I just didn't feel it. He didn't know how to show it to me in a way that I could take it in. And I was very resentful. And I had spent a life watering that garden of resentment. It was the spring of 1995, and my father had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I got very frightened. And quite honestly, it took the ringing of a bell. It took his death sentence to get me to move. That's the God's honest truth, and I'm not proud of that. It just hit me at just the right time that I needed to do something about this relationship, and that I needed to heal this, and that I was imprisoned in feelings, in negative feelings that were detrimental both to me and to my dad. But what I found was, or what I heard was, that the only way that I was going to get what I needed from my dad was to let go of how I felt about what he had done to me 30 years ago. As much as I cared about the person that I was hurting in my inability to forgive, I was caught up in my own pain and my own anger. And I knew that I wanted to ameliorate that. I wanted to do something to effect a change. Forgiveness was really the only answer. And we were able to tell each other some truths that we had never been able to share with each other, to forgive each other, and find freedom. That's really what it felt like. It felt like we were both flying when we had finished this process, and that we had let go of some very frozen, impacted feelings that were hurting both of us. My feelings about my dad today are that he did the best that he could, and I honestly believe that. It's a cliche, and it's what a lot of people tell you to think when you're having problems with a parent. They didn't know any better. It was a different time, it was a different place. Fathers weren't as touchy-feely as they might be today. But I do believe that. I believe that he did the best that he could. And today I believe that he's up in heaven looking down on me, smiling and laughing and wishing me only the best things in the world. The two greatest gifts that I've ever gotten in my life were both given to me in spiritual areas. The first is finding a loving and caring God. And the second is going down a path that allows me to reach that loving and caring God. And forgiveness is one of the teachings that are key to that whole process.